Hey there, I'm Mel Abraham, the author of the #1 best-selling book, The Entrepreneur Solution, and the founder of Business Breakthrough Academy, where we teach you how to design a business and create a life of financial freedom and peace of mind. And welcome back to this episode of the Entrepreneur Solution Show. And this one is going to be kind of cool because, again, I'm answering a question that was posed to me. Actually, I had posted something earlier in the week about using our gifts to support and serve society at a higher level. And this individual said, well, how do I figure out what my gifts are? What should I be doing? Where is it? And it's, I call it gifts, I call it greatness. And so in this episode, I'm going to give you my framework of how I look at where your greatness lies, where my greatness lies, where someone else's greatness lies, and where we should be focusing our energy so we can have the greatest impact, the greatest fulfillment, and in all likelihood, the greatest income in the process. So when we come back from this brief introduction, we'll get a chance to dive right in, and I'll tell you about the greatness, kind of the greatness framework. And for those of you that don't know me, every single one of our episodes comes with some sort of downloadable worksheet tool, something that's going to shift and change things. And this is no different. You can download the Greatness Finder by going to melabraham.com/session 046, or you can simply text me. If you happen to be out running around, shopping, at the gym, driving, doing something, do it safely, but go ahead and text me, my legacy, one word, no spaces, my legacy, to 38470. I'll make sure that I send you directly the download link so you can get all the value out of this episodes and any other episodes that you've had a chance to view, and I hope you're getting a chance to see all of them. So I'll see you back here right after this brief introduction. See you soon.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Solution, where highly successful entrepreneur Mel Abraham becomes your entrepreneurial mentor. Here, Mel reveals his business-building strategies and even gets a chance to answer your questions. Mel Abraham, a CPA by education, but an entrepreneur by exhilaration, and a true believer in the entrepreneurial way of life. It's through entrepreneurship that we create community, support society, and live our dreams. It's where possibility meets reality again, and you can have the life and lifestyle you want, one of freedom and peace of mind. Welcome to this episode of the Entrepreneur Solution, where it's time for you to be bold, dream big, and live life your way.
Hey there, welcome back to this episode of the Entrepreneur Solution Show. And in this episode, as I said, we're going to talk about this concept of where does my greatness lie? What is it that I'm looking for? And let me give you a little context. Let me give you a little bit of how this came about initially. Now, I briefly mentioned that I made a post and a question came about with respect to the post. But before the post, I actually had a question posed to me by a client, a friend who said, what they did previously, or they still do it, but they were doing nutritional consulting. They were doing dietary consulting for high performance athletes, executives, and those types of folks. Now, while that gave them certainly income, it was lucrative, it gave them some fulfillment, it wasn't really where they wanted to be. And I can't tell you how many times I've run into folks, including myself, where at times we're going, I'm really not doing what I really want to do. And so what do I do? And so this person, she came to me and said, here's what I'm thinking of doing. And I said, what's that? She said, I'm thinking of completely stopping all of the dietary stuff, all of the things that I'm doing, because I want to focus on high performance leadership, coaching, mentoring, and that type of thing. And I said, well, okay, that's one way to do it, where you burn the ships, you never look back, and you say, I'm gonna go cold turkey, and I'm gonna start to build. Now, is that the most responsible way to do it? is dependent upon each person's situation. If you've got enough money in the bank to go ahead and do that, great. But let's think this thing through. If you don't have access to the industry, if you don't have access to the customers, if you don't have a name in there, you're probably not going to start making money right away. We need to build it. We need to start to cluster and do some other things to build that. And in the meantime, what do you do about paying the bills? What do you do about taking care of your family? What do you do about doing the things that are the responsible things? There's a difference between what I call being committed, and I've heard a lot of people say, well, just don't look back. Well, there's a difference between being totally committed to what it is you're trying to do and being reckless. And so if I've got financial responsibilities, if I've got debts, if I've got those kinds of things, it's reckless to completely stop my source of income to move forward. And so what we need to do is do it the responsible way. And one of the responsible ways is to really understand where your greatness lies. What is it about you that is a level of uniqueness that you can take to the market, that you can generate immediate cash flow? Because when we talk, I hear people say things like, it's the low-hanging fruit and this and that. And I don't mean that in an insulting way in any shape or form. But if we're trying to find our fastest path to cash, it's going to rest in where I say our greatness is, and where we look at that and understanding what that is. Now, once we get there, once we have the cash flow, it's easy to start shifting the sources of income and the things that you're doing once you get there. But I believe that especially those of us out there that are sitting there saying, I need to get cash flow going, then if that's the case, I need to focus, and you need to focus on where your greatness lies. So where does it lie? What is it? And so for me, the first thing I look at is really understanding what my talents and skills are. What are your talents and skills? What are the things that you know how to do? Where, maybe you're a pianist, or a musician of some sort. Maybe you're a scientist of some sort. Maybe what are the skills? Now, this may be what you went to school for, but then again, it may not. It may be what you learned through the school of hard knocks. You may have ultimately become a relationship expert, much like John Gray, because you've had a lot of failed relationships. I mean, you may not know, but John has had, I think, 3 marriages. I don't know, it may be more now, but he's had 3 marriages. But there he is one of the top relationship experts in his field, in the world right now, and one of the most well-read authors in the relationship space. And so your talents and skills. So one of the things we really need to do is inventory. What are those things? What are the skills that I bring? Can I write? Can I sing? Can I instruct? Can I speak? What is it? Maybe I know a specific kind of skill. It could be mechanical skill. It could be electronic. It could be technology. It could be design. It could be interior design. Where are your skills? What are your talents? What are the things that people around you will say, my gosh, you're good at that? Could you do that for me? Have you ever had a friend or a neighbor or a family member or someone come to you and say, God, I would love if you did that for me? Here's for instance. When Jeremy, my son, was 15 years old or so, I got him his name as a domain, and I got him some software to do web design. And primarily it was because I wanted him to stop playing on the computer 8 hours a day. I wanted him to try and find something more productive. And literally within a week, 2 weeks, he came to me and he says, Dad, go look at my website. And I go to look at this website. Now, I didn't even have a website at the time. I look at this website and he's got videos and he's got pictures and he's got words and I looked at him and I said, can you do that for me? And so he did. And so my first website was created by Jeremy, and actually all my stuff is done by Jeremy and his company now, because he turned it into a business, into a very lucrative business, a very successful business at a young age, and is continuing to build today. And so, but it was that conversation of, can you do that for me? How many people in your life have come to you about something? It could be cooking, it could be needlepoint, it could be, knitting, it could be anything, and said, Can you do that for me? Can you help me with that? Can you show me how? Where are your talents and skills? Make sure that you're clear on what those talents and skills are. They come from education. They come from experience. They come from your mistakes. They come from your living, they come from your past, and they come from all of the research and reading and the things and the education that you do. So although it may not be where you are directly making money today, it's still a talent and skill that could possibly be monetized in the future. So let's first figure out what those talents and skills are. Then we want to look and say, where is there an opportunity to use those talents and skills to serve, to make a difference, to shift a life, to have a positive impact, to solve a problem, to create a solution, and look for that perspective. What is it that I know that I can do, or what you know and what you can do to solve a problem and support a need, to serve a community, to serve a society specifically. And in that, that's what I will call the niche, okay? Because at the intersection of those talents and the opportunities out there that exist is the niche that you should be serving, the contingent, the customer base, the market space, the people, the community, the society that you could be serving. For instance, one of the things that I do, many of you know, I've been in the martial arts now for 4+ decades, 40+ years, lived in Japan, trained in Japan, and I do a lot of work and have done a lot of work over the years to support and help, against abuse, against violence and abuse against women and children. And I take those talents and skills and I find those opportunities where I can serve. Now maybe that's not the place that I'm making my living, or it's not the place where I'm making my income, but it is a place where I get to make a difference, where I get to get some fulfillment, where I get to do something that changes and shifts things. And so it's mirroring and matching and marrying, if you will, your talents and skills with the opportunities that might exist out there and searching for them. And the reason I want to do it that way is because rather than trying to create a market, let me find that automatic fit already. Let me go find the opportunity to take what I already know, because the shortest path to that success is using what I already know and fitting it in to solve that problem. If it's something I have to learn, if it's a skill I have to develop, then it's not as fast to convert it to cash. Doesn't mean we don't do it. We do. We will continue to develop, and you'll see where that comes into play in this model as we move forward. But the immediate concern, if we're going to look at how do I get the fastest path to cash, let me look for my greatness within me right now. Then I'm going to find specific opportunities where I can serve with my talents and skills. Now, this is all driven by an overarching, support beam, which I call action and discipline. Success. Have I said it again? Success is driven by all the actions you take and the discipline you bring to the table. It's really about that. There's so many times that I see ultra talented people, ultra highly skilled individuals, and they see a great opportunity and they can bring them together and they can have such a tremendous impact and they can make such a tremendous difference, and yet they're not successful. And the thing that's lacking, the special sauce, the ingredient, the one key, the fuel to that success is the actions you take and the discipline you bring to the game. We'll look at people all the time and say, wow, they're gifted. I mean, I have a very, very close friend of mine. Many of you may know Bo Eason is one of the most amazing performers that ever set foot on a stage, and an amazing individual and soul to boot. And so many people look at him and go, man, gosh, he's so good. He's so gifted. And you know what? He absolutely is gifted. But he's also gifted with the gift of discipline. What people don't see is they see the performance that he is up on stage, and they see what he brings to the stage, and they see the energy, and they see the power that he brings. Yet what they don't see is the 10,000 hours of work behind him, the skinned knees, the bloody nose, all the work that he did to get himself to that point, to spend the days and the hours on end on the stage, to develop the skills and the talent to a point where it comes out so naturally and so powerfully in that process. And so what we really need to look at is how much action and discipline am I bringing to this game to really make it successful. And so our greatness, to me, our greatness lies at the intersection of these three things. Talents and skills on one hand, married with the opportunities that they can serve on the other hand, but driven by the action and discipline that you bring to the game. And I said that, the intersection of talents and skills is the niche. Well, if the intersection of talents and the skills is the niche, well, then the intersection between your talents and skills and the action is how you grow. It's your development. That's where you grow. We take what we already know and we take and put action and discipline to it to grow it even further, to become masters at it, to expand the work that we do. And in that process, so we not only find our current greatness, but we expand the sphere of greatness over the process. Now, we can do things like I do with women and children that are there solely, primarily to fill my soul, to fulfill my soul, and to work from the perspective of making a difference versus making an income. But at the same time, when I can marry the discipline and the action that I take with the opportunities that exist in the marketplace, that is where we find the ability to monetize. That's where we find the ability to have an impact. That's where we can create a lucrative game. So when it comes down to this concept of, what's my greatness? Here's how I would look at it. What are my talents and skills, and inventory them? And if you're not sure, ask some people, because there's a whole lot of people probably looking at you saying, man, they do that really well. Man, they can really dial that in. Gosh, they know how to do that, and she knows how to do that, and she knows how to. So what is it? And inventory your talents and skills. And I've got a tool, the Greatness Finder, that will help you do that, and you can download that from the website. Just go to melabraham.com/session 046 to get that, or just text me, my legacy, one word, no spaces, to 38470. We'll make sure we get you that tool to allow you to do that. But you're going to inventory your talents and skills. You're going to search out the opportunities that exist in the marketplace to serve. Now, maybe serving them simply for the impact and the fulfillment, but at other times it may also be for the income. So we're going to look for the opportunities to serve, so we're going to marry those two things, and then it's up to you. It's up to you to decide what level of action, what level of discipline, what level of activity, what level of dedication you're going to bring to that game to bring your greatness to life. And it will become your life in the process. It becomes your life's work. And in that process, you will grow the sphere of your greatness, because you're going to continually develop new talents and skills and new opportunities. And you're going to see these spheres continue to grow. So I hope you found that of value. I hope you found this helpful to you as you start to explore things, and maybe at this time of year start to reflect on things as to where you want to be. What is your greatness? Where does it come from? What should it be? How do I want to look at it? And really start to dial in to what the rest of your life is going to look like. Remember, I believe that each and every day, each and every moment, we get a second chance to do the things that we were meant to do and placed here to do. And this may be your second chance. So just take the time to reflect and go beyond and to look at that. And if I can help you in any way, shape, or form, I would feel honored. I would be blessed. It would be really something that is meaningful to me to help you in your journey. So do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this. Subscribe to this episode and to the show. That way I can make sure that I can guide you and become your entrepreneurial mentor, your success mentor, your wealth mentor throughout the years, to try and support you and serve you and bring whatever I know to your world to try and shift. And at the same time, while you're subscribing, if you haven't done so already, share it with a friend. Heck, share it with a few friends. Let's give it to them as a gift at this time of year to allow them to start exploring where their greatness lies, where they might want to find the opportunities in their talents and skills, and marry them with some discipline to bring their greatness to life as we move forward in this time. And again, if you want to get the downloadable the Greatness Finder, just go to melabraham.com/session046, and we'll make sure that you get that tool. Or text me, my legacy, one word, no spaces, to 38470. And if you have a question for me, one more thing, if you have a question for me and you want me to maybe share some experiences or some thoughts with respect to it, just go to askmelnow.com. Askmelnow.com. You can leave me your question right there, and I'll make sure that I get to it on an upcoming episode. And until we get a chance to see each other again, may your vision be grand, your journey epic, and your legacy significant. See you soon. Go out there and be great.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you subscribe so you get access to all of Mel's business and success tips. And if you like this episode, share it with a friend. If you have a specific business or success question, you can ask it at www.askmelnow.com. Remember, it's all about being bold, dreaming big, and living life your way. Because the world needs you. Until the next episode, may your vision be grand, your journey epic, and your legacy significant.